What's going on, people? Hopefully you can see it right. I gotta rotate the device. Oh boy. Um, Salutation to those folks out there, children of all ages, all sizes, shapes, people from all different countries and stuff like that. Excuse the leaves in the way, maybe I need to get that out the way. Um, anyway, let me set this timer. I only want to talk maybe for about 25 minutes or so. So I got a timer. After a certain time, this will go off. I was asked to speak about something, Free Music wanted me to talk about, and that's VidMe. So, I don't know, just to give a little background on VidMe, I didn't know too much about it. I was just trying to figure it out. And a couple of people was telling me, Wesley Nash told me to go into VidMe and whatnot, look at what it was. So, I checked it out a little bit. I said, maybe, this is the YouTube alternative that's gonna, be the end all, the be all. And I went to their website. They sent me to like TubeFilter and some other site that I'll get into right quick. I'm just trying to figure it out. Give me a second, bear with me. I'm saying? I'm just preparing my notes so I can have this done correctly. I'm just gonna read a little bit. It says TubeFilter, VidMe, a cross between YouTube and Reddit. Now, as far as VidMe is concerned, for those that don't know, the company described as a cross between YouTube and Reddit offers seamless uploads that can be posted at various categories within the platform. Hey, what's up, TJ? I see you. I see you in the house. Just talking about VidMe and whatnot. Free Music asked me to talk about VidMe, so I'm going into VidMe. And VidMe is the company described as a cross between YouTube and Reddit. Offers seamless uploads that can be posted to various categories within the platform, such as gaming, animation, movies, and entertainment, which serves as subreddits of sorts. So for those that know about Reddit, about the subreddits and stuff like that, basically that's a whole other issue right there about what Reddit is and how Reddit works. But basically it's similar to that platform if you're familiar with it. I'm not going to go into a whole thing about Reddit, but you can Google and check out what that's about. And VidMe says it has over 25 million unique users, a base that is growing at 20% over month. Stateside, its demographic skews males 18 to 35, according to the company. Boldface publications such as USA Today, Huffington Post, Billboard, and People often embed videos from the service. Notable creators from the platform include I Hate Everything, Channel Awesome, Ozzy Man Reviews, Pyamations, Wisecracks, and Your Movie Sucks. The company was founded in 2014. Currently counts 9 employees. Now, that's cool. Also, too, I'm not gonna go into a whole bunch of reading about what's. What's going on? Earth from Short. Jack and Jane says, just do it. Thanks, Yas Poet. Have a blessed day, brother. Holla at me. I will. I'm just talking about VidMe. I don't know too much about it. I know a little bit about it. It's supposed to be the YouTube alternative because people were worried about AdSense, the adpocalypse. Is VidMe the alternative to YouTube that's going to be the end all, the be all? Is it something that you should check out? Yes, I agree. It's something you should probably check out. It's something you should probably look into. But as it pertains to VidMe, there's some issues that I found. They haven't figured out quite their monetization thing. As far as the censorship goes, they're not too much of a censorship brand. You can say whatever you want. You can curse. You can do your thing. Hey, I see you, Evelyn. What's going on with you? As far as VidMe is concerned, it's a cool platform. It's something to basically have a alternative to as far as YouTube is concerned. But my issue with VidMe is just that it's still brand new, relatively brand new, and they haven't figured out their infrastructure and how they're gonna do things. Somebody said hi to you, Evelyn. So TJ said hi to you, Evelyn. He said hi, Mama. So that's something. That's cool. I really don't know where to go with the whole VidMe thing. It's because here's my thing. I mean, not to sound like a rant or anything like that. I mean, it's good to have an alternative to YouTube. It's good to go to Twitch or Oh, BS Talk is also saying I'm using Vimeo and YouTube, and I mean, why not? Yeah, no, you could use both platforms if you want. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. My whole thing with using any platform is you have to take into factor that, you know, will you be able to say what you want to say? Will you be able to use your content and take it and monetize it the way that you want to monetize it? Because there's still the issues of copyrights. One of the issues that I have with VidMe is that right now they haven't really been clear or defined on what's going to happen with the copyright situation. You know, you may put stuff up there, and now it's okay to put music and things like that up there. But then what happens when, you know, they start to, you know, go into the YouTube direction as far as the ad dollars and stuff like that start to come in? Then what do you do? You know, and you know, you have another situation that's exactly like YouTube. I encourage people to check out VidMe because it's an alternative to YouTube. That's Victory Leah says one of the channels I'm sub to is doing VidMe and YouTube. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing both, because VidMe says that there's room for everybody. You can actually from Free Music, what he was telling me, you can actually upload videos from YouTube to VidMe and, you know, do that. Yep, YouTube used to be raw. Yeah, YouTube used to be raw once upon a time, but with that, a lot of the ad revenues and stuff like that started to come in. Monetization changed the game, and people started to basically, you know, get more into the corporate structure of it, and it started to become more commercial. As it became more commercial, then it was something that pretty much it changed because you had people forget about, you know, Google, YouTube, or Alphabet, you know, whatever company you want to refer to, because YouTube is owned by Google is owned by Alphabet. But here's the thing with all that. Hopefully I'm not boring everybody, because I lost like about 4 live viewers. Google is a publicly traded company which owns YouTube, and you have advertisers. Yeah, I still see you, Evelyn. Google is a publicly traded company that owns YouTube, and YouTube has different corporate structures and people has to answer to, and it's a revenue sharing thing. So yeah, Victory Leah says you're not boring me. I'm just talking about this because I was asked to talk about this, and this is something, you know, like I said, hopefully I'm not boring anybody, but YouTube is basically owned by a publicly traded company. And when you're owned by a publicly traded company, you have certain obligations that you have to fulfill. You have certain people you have to answer to. Things become politically correct, even for folks here on YouTube. The average YouTube subscriber, you can say what you want, curse, do whatever you want to do, but the moment somebody starts to cut you a check, you know, TJ says it's good to know, bro, I'm here too. Cool. BS Talk says that number always is messed up, the view count. I mean, yeah, it is. But like I was saying, when money gets involved, I don't care how raunchy, I don't care how raw you are, I don't care how vulgar or whatever or creative you are. The pressure to be PC, the pressure to succumb to the check, especially if you come from a situation where you didn't have money, is real. And YouTube is no different, you know, as far as a corporate structure, because anybody that's been on YouTube from the beginning or back and forth between YouTube, because they didn't start monetization until like 2012, if I'm not mistaken, and before then it was just a free for all. So people were doing what they wanted to do, and as soon as the money started to get involved, as far as the creator end, then things changed. You know, then there was the whole PewDiePie incident. For those folks that know about PewDiePie, you know what he did. You know, we don't need to go into all that, but you can Google his backstory and find out how he basically changed the landscape, and how, you know, advertisers now started to back away from creators, and advertisers wanted to know what is it that exactly they were paying for, you know, as it pertains to the content that the creators were producing, especially if your ads are not being seen. So I say all that to say this. With all the nonsense that was going on, it left a void, or it created a vacuum for something like a VidMe to be created, because now advertisers were basically being given, you know, the heads up that, you know what, maybe YouTube is not the place to go to anymore. Maybe we need to leave those alone, those creators over there, you know, putting out content that's not kid friendly or corporate friendly, whatever. So then people started to say, we need somewhere to go. Folks started to, you know, look for alternatives, and I think in 2014, as it was being developed, even before that, you had something like a VidMe out there, and it started to create an option for folks to go. VidMe didn't really pick up until YouTube started to fall off as far as its ad revenues and stuff like that, because the creators used to get certain money basically for their content and the clicks and stuff like that. Then, you know, for some reason they got PC, things started to happen, folks started to defund them and move away, and now all of a sudden folks are starting to look for alternatives, which brings VidMe. So now we go back to VidMe. VidMe is a great alternative to YouTube. You can do both. You can put all your time, your effort, your energy into YouTube and VidMe. But personally, I say to anybody out there that's creating content, your best bet too, if you're gonna do VidMe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, IG, whatever, I personally tell folks, look, develop your own content and all that stuff and post it to these different social medias, but also develop your own website. And people say, well, why develop your own website? Why not just go to VidMe? Why not just go to YouTube? BS Talk said, I hate to talk about myself again, but my company, Mind Riding Entertainment, is going to change a lot. Hey, listen, BS, if you got a company that's going to change a lot, then, you know, go out there and do it. But what I encourage, hey Pixie's channel, I seen you on the live stream earlier, so I'm surprised you still going. How was work, Pixies, though? Anyway, I tell anybody, yeah, join VidMe, join YouTube. You could go on these different platforms and put your content out there creatively or otherwise. Yeah, TJ says, Pixie channels, hey, my friend. I say to anybody, if you're developing content and you're serious about being a content creator and from the revenue side, Pixie says, work sucks, but one more day before my holiday. Listen, I know the struggle. I got to go back to work tomorrow. Creative Writer says, I want to start making videos on VidMe. Yeah, listen, make videos on VidMe. I'm not saying, you know, folks shouldn't. Go on and make videos on VidMe. I mean, just understand that, you know, they're new. They're just starting out. I mean, the same issues that have arisen, right, with YouTube can arise with VidMe. VidMe, you know, is not reinventing the wheel. Evelyn Asado says, I want to too. Yeah, listen, create videos. I tell anybody, if you want to create a video on there, on any different platform, learn the platform, understand the copyright rules, learn the difference between, you know, the different monetization styles. Like VidMe has this whole thing with the tip jar. You know, you can tip people for the actual content that they have, and you can be like an exclusive subscriber as a follower on their site. And also they're working on other ad monetization type things. But I tell folks, we put our content out here for free, for pay, for subscription. We use things like Patreon accounts and all that stuff, right? But the best thing that we can do is to become independent creators and to learn how to monetize and get sponsors on our own. That's the one thing that folks are afraid of. That's the one thing that these big corporations or platforms are afraid of, that people start to figure out and realize, hey, wow, instead of me putting my stuff on VidMe, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on IG, or Twitch, whatever, folks can actually start to, you know, set up their own sites. And what I say, the problem with that is that, let's say you create some dope content, you know, this is the best video ever, you know, you out there, you doing it, you had the best day, greatest time ever. What happens is people forget the promotion side of it. And yeah, Victory Leo says, I gotta learn before I start my gaming, especially copyright, etc. Yeah, copyright is a big thing, man. I mean, people don't realize that you could get, you know, sued, and you can get your content taken down. You can work years and years and years, and then all of a sudden you get hit. Like look at the song that Pharrell did, you know, Blurred Lines, you know, him and Robin Thicke. Great song, big song, you know, monster hit. Then all of a sudden, as they're winning Grammys and on stage and doing MTV shows and all that stuff, you know, the Marvin Gaye estate hit them with the lawsuit, and then bam, you know, they had to give out certain millions and whatnot, and that kind of stifles your creativity because, you know, all that stuff. So what I'm saying is, yeah, use these platforms. Use a VidMe. You know, it's a good alternative to YouTube because it hasn't yet faced the you know, the trials and tribulations that YouTube has faced. It's rough around the edges and whatnot, but while while the getting is good. But I say to anybody that uses a VidMe, be careful, because you use something like VidMe and you're thinking it's all good, it's free, I can say what I want, I can do what I want. But then when that money start coming in and the corporate sponsors start coming in, yeah, TJ Workshop, the thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up. When that money starts coming in and that pressure starts coming to VidMe as it becomes a bigger platform, you're going to face some of the same issues that you have on YouTube with censorship and, ad monetization and stuff like that. And, just, the type of content that you put out and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. In the beginning, when you go to most of these platforms, things are pretty cool, pretty decent, because, like, look at something like Tumblr. Tumblr was a free-for-all at one point. Then it was bought by Yahoo, and then, things got a little PC, very politically correct, and all this other stuff. I mean, platform after platform that you look at has gotten real PC, and the ones that haven't really gotten PC and succumbed to corporate pressure, those are the ones that are still made, pretty low and, pretty, like, niche in the game, and that's cool. I'm saying to anybody out there, if you want to use VidMe, you know what, go ahead and use VidMe. It's a great alternative to YouTube, because basically it's not succumbing to, the pressures that YouTube has right now, because YouTube is basically a big platform, that has all these corporate pressures, and, they have all this publicly traded stuff that they got to deal with, and, they have people that they have to answer to on different levels, because you got to look at it. YouTube as a corporate structure is not just YouTube. You got YouTube, you got Google, then you have Alphabet. Evelyn says 100. So thanks, appreciate it. So with this corporate structure, you have these YouTube has to answer to 2 other corporations that it's attached to, and then those other corporations have to answer to a publicly traded stock exchange, which creates a whole different types of pressures, to begin with. So people forget, YouTube is a business, so they have to deal with that. And VidMe will face that at some point, because right now VidMe, the biggest thing that it has going for them is, like, from what I understand, this is not a publicly traded company. Pixie's Channels, I would have thought that if your video made a ton of views using someone else's content, then it would allow it to be making the owner's content go viral. Yeah, you would think that, Pixies, but people are funny when it comes to copyrights, because they still want the revenue. Like, if I make $50 million off of something, people are not looking at it like, what, you put my work in the consciousness of the public, and you're gonna help me get noticed and whatnot. They want some of that revenue or lost revenue that comes from their content, or they feel like they should be able to take creative control over what you did, with their work. So permission is key, like I said, you wouldn't want somebody to just take your words and use it and make a whole bunch of money off of it and not tell you, and then, give you credit whenever they feel like it. Just give them half of what you make the content. Sometimes it's that simple. Sometimes it is that simple. But a lot of times people want more than half. I don't know if you ever heard of a song by Lord Tariq and Peter Guns. It was a hip-hop song. Never heard of VidMe, Jack and Jane? Well, VidMe is a YouTube alternative. Like I said, it's a combination between Reddit and YouTube. It's something because of what happened with YouTube, as far as a lot of people being upset about the ad revenue and the demonetization of videos, the shadow demonetization of videos, the censorship going on YouTube. VidMe became more popular because in the vacuum, what was going on with YouTube was turning a lot of people off, and a lot of people who were making money on YouTube had to kind of basically, find other ways. And I tell anybody, the issues that are going on with YouTube right now and causing people to go to VidMe are things that folks had to deal with anyway. How are you going to make money? How do you manage the copyrights? What do you do about censorship? How do you deal with advertisers? How do you promote yourself? These are things that, as an independent content creator, regardless if you're on VidMe, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you're on IG, you have to deal with regardless. Because at the end of the day, it starts off as a fun thing. You start to do this thing just, out of the love of it. Then you see that money can be made, and now all of a sudden this becomes a business. It can become a business to you. As it becomes a business, it's important to understand corporate structure, understand, the independent, creator lane that comes, and how to deal with these folks. Gotta go make cooking pizza for dinner. Hey, listen, send me a piece. Or YouTube, give them half of what the copyright strike wants. All right, yeah. Take care, Pixies. He said, "Whoa, okay, yeah. VidMe is just something that was created because of what was going on with YouTube, the issues that were happening with YouTube, the monetization." Victory Leo says, "I know one. If I start making profit, I'm going to open up a savings bond back for the download." Okay. TJ's hard working says, "Pixie's channel later, my friend. Much love." Pixie said, "Later, TJ." Well, thank you both for being on there. Appreciate it. I see you around, Pixies. Anyway, the monetization part of it is probably the key factor, because these issues with VidMe, with YouTube, and any other platform wouldn't be a problem if nobody was getting paid for it. And, if they didn't start to actually say, okay, the users could monetize content. Once the users start to monetize content, anybody that didn't think the problems was coming is sadly mistaken. I mean, and I think personally there'll be more issues to come as far as images that are used. I mean, hey, look at this Nike shirt. I probably, can have this Nike shirt blurred out, or maybe Nike's going to send me a copyright strike. I don't know. Just do it. But for the most part, it's something that needs to be worked out. I think it was real messy with how it was done. I think, a lot of money was floating around, and then folks got greedy, and folks started saying, okay, well, my copyrights matter, and you need to cut me a check, and this one said you need to cut me a check, and that one didn't like the percentages, and this one wanted the permission. And, it got real messy, because on one end, you have the big corporate structure being YouTube and the advertisers that understand, what they want as far as the revenue side of it, and what they're going to do. They have the power. On the other side is the creator who's using the platform, and it's like an apartment. You're renting it out, and you're just going basically by the rules that are set by, the person that's actually, allowing you to use the space. But the issues became is that you're not really clear as what a person can and can't do from 1 minute to the next. Because on YouTube, you don't really know what's going to happen with their corporate structure from one moment to the next. So then you enter VidMe. VidMe comes in, says, you know what, bring us your vulgarity, bring us your sauciness, bring us everything, bring us the raunchy stuff that you have, we'll take it. For now, they could take it. But I'll tell anybody that's using VidMe, the same thing that VidMe is doing is the same exact thing that happened with YouTube in the beginning. It's the same thing that happened with sites like Tumblr. It's the same thing that happened with sites like Facebook. In the beginning, before it got corporate, before the money came, everything was a free-for-all. So I say enjoy the free-for-all now, but I'm curious to see what happens with VidMe when the money starts floating around and the corporate sponsors start coming and the ad revenue starts rolling in. Then what? So my thing is, yeah, use YouTube, use VidMe, use whatever you use. But I still say, people, look, develop your own website. Stuff like that is still important. But when I say develop your own website and figure out a way, hey, Crimson, what's going on, man? I guess you caught me at the end of this. I'm just talking about, the differences between using VidMe and using YouTube and all that. I say to folks, look, use whatever platform you want to use. But at the same time, if you're serious about content creation, right? Develop your own content, start looking into putting together your own websites and stuff like that. Stuff I have to do too. Understand sponsorships, because to me personally, I think that's where a lot of content is going online for the independent creators. If you want to make money on this thing, you set up your own content in your own site, understanding sponsorship, understanding marketing and promotion. That's after you put together great content. Because even if you go on a spot like VidMe or YouTube or whatever the case, you still need to understand how to put together quality content. And after you put the quality content together, you still need to understand basically how to promote your stuff, how to monetize it and make money off of it. And it's saying I have a very bad connection, so if I go off, please forgive me, folks. I'm back. Hopefully it didn't go nowhere. So true, Crimson said. I mean, like I said, I'm not telling anybody jump off of YouTube. I'm not telling anybody jump off of VidMe. I'm just saying that a lot of the issues that YouTube faced, that YouTube are facing now, VidMe at some point is going to have to deal with censorship, monetization, copyrights, corporate structure, being publicly traded if that's something they want to do. Because people have to remember something about VidMe. It is actually a business, a corporate structure. And my alarm went off, so I'm almost about done. So this is my timer here, about 24 minutes. I don't want to keep folks on here too long. Hopefully this made sense. Free music when you see this later. I appreciate it. You know, anybody else that watches this later, I appreciate all the folks that, you know, came to this live stream. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. Thank you for all your support, for your likes, for your thumbs up, you know, everything. Yeah, I say to folks though, you know, in finale, learn to just develop your own personal content and look into promotion and look into sponsorships and things like that. Understand how to exist independently in case these platforms basically fall off. And Crimson says, thanks again, Mel. This was insightful as always. I appreciate you, Crim. We're going to see each other again. If there's anything you want to work on, just let me know. You know how to hit. And for everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Again, think about independent content creation as far as, you know, your own advertising, sponsorship, promotion, understanding what happens if these content platforms actually fall apart. And thank you for watching.